What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Welcome to the channel, everyone. Hope you guys are having an amazing weekend. Sending some positive vibes to all of you guys out there. I'm excited, guys. This is gonna be absolutely massive. I know a lot of you guys don't care about live arena. Not a lot of you guys care about having new dungeon stages, which you should, because you're gonna be able to get better gear, and that's very, very important for pretty much everyone. We're gonna have tons of QOL changes which are absolutely needed in the game, and a lot of you mobile players out there will be very, very excited to see this. So we're gonna react to what's next in Raid video, guys. I don't know why, I love these videos. They're always getting me super pumped.
Welcome to the first What's Next in Raid episode of 2023. It's only fitting that we kick the year off with some huge news about what's coming to the game. So let's waste no time in getting right into it. First up, let's start with the new PVE content. We're supercharging some of our familiar dungeon bosses, making for a really tough endgame challenge. Introducing Hard Mode Dungeons.
I just hope one thing here, okay? So I really hope that they will completely remove the rare gear from the hard mode. If they do that, that's gonna be great, because we're gonna be able to kind of like farm better gear. So that's very, very important. I just hope they completely scrap it from the hard mode, the same way you cannot get it in the Doom Tower. Then I would be happy with that, because all of us will be able to kind of like get upgrades on the gear and get rid of all the rare crap that we're getting on stage 25, which is constant. You know, like the chances to get rare items is huge. I see the energy still stays at 20. That's another good thing. One thing you should know, guys, prepare mentally for it. The mechanics will be completely different. Nothing that works on the current dungeons will work on this. Everything will have to be revamped, because each dungeon is kind of like immune to some things. And let's just watch it, and you guys are gonna get the idea.
We say hard mode, we mean hard mode. These aren't just minor buffs and tweaks. We've really changed up the mechanics and abilities of these bosses, adding devilish new twists to old classics. That's not to say you'll have to change how you approach dungeons entirely. Old stages will remain the same, with these remix dungeons being accessible via 10 extra stages for the Dragon's Lair, Ice Golem's Peak, Fire Knight's Castle, and Spider's Den. So, let's meet our combatants. These bosses weren't exactly nice to start off with, but a creeping darkness has tainted them even further. They're tougher, stronger, and more brutal than their regular counterparts. So, bring your A game. Let's start with the noxious dragon, its tainted Hellraiser. Rather than more fire, this malevolent fiend...
The dragon actually looks sick now. It looks so much better, greenish like this. I love it.
...has doubled down on horrific poisons. His Mephitic Fire skill will apply twice as many poison debuffs as its normal counterpart, Wall of Fire, and it beefs up Tainted Hellraiser with a 50% increase attack buff for good measure. Also, his secret skill, Toxic Incineration, will activate all poison debuffs on your champions at once. This caustic explosion can deal major damage.
So basically, the boss is gonna bring poison detonation to us, because we're always bullying the dragon with poison detonation. Seems like he's kind of like returning the favor now. So that's gonna be pretty interesting.
So be sure to bring someone who can cleanse these poisons from your team. Now, let's take a look at Tainted Clysis and see what new tricks he's hiding up his frozen sleeves. Debilitating Frost will remove all debuffs from Tainted Clysis and decrease your team's turn meter by 30%. Also, he's now utterly immune to poisons.
Immune to poisons, he will decrease your turn meter, he's gonna cleanse the debuffs. That's gonna be pretty nuts.
Sense, seeing as he's literally made from ice. So, how do you defeat something made of ice? You melt it. HP Burn is your friend here. It deals 10% more damage to Tainted Clysis and destroys the max HP of his minions, making it easier to put them back into the ground whenever they get dragged back into the fight.
So HP Burn will be massive here. 10% extra damage is not that significant on the boss, but just destroying the HP on the minions is going to be huge, because you're going to be able to put them back in the ground pretty quick like that, you know.
Needless to say, some teams that used to shine in this dungeon will be getting the cold shoulder from Tainted Clysis instead.
Bye, Theodore.
Be prepared to change your teams accordingly. Next up, the Ice Golem's hot-tempered counterpart,
such a massive change.
Pyro, the Fire Knight. If you thought his shield was nasty before, just wait until you see it now. It goes from needing 12 hits to break in stage 25 of normal mode to needing 21 hits in Stage 10 of Hard Mode. And
21 hits, guys. That's just crazy. I love that they're bringing in new sort of mechanics into it for the dungeons. A lot of you guys that were dissing on champions like Yakal, the Scourge right here, you're gonna be like, damn, I haven't bought the fragments from the clan shop. I don't have the champion yet, but you're gonna want to do it.
that's not even your biggest worry. Attacking Tainted Pyro's shield will destroy your champion's max HP by 1%. Need more HP destruction? His Corrupting Blaze skill also destroys your team's HP by 15% of the damage dealt. Meaning, whatever he does, your HP is taking a hit. You'll need to find a way to counter this, or else Tainted Pyro will be carving through your champions like a hot knife through butter.
So, at the moment, I think there's only one champion in the game that restores the destroyed HP, which is Marichka. I would definitely not sacrifice my Arena one for the dungeon. But what I think, we're going to have to completely revamp the Fire Knight team as we know them before. Because you're going to see in just a second.
Oh, and he's immune to turn meter reduction.
Immune to turn meter reductions. Allure, Cold Hearts, all these champions will be irrelevant on the new Fire Knight stages, guys. And I can already give you the recipe. Reflect damage is going to be your best friend. Shields, because like that, you're going to have a solid HP, so he can't really wreck you completely. And whenever he hits you on reflect damage, you're going to be able to throw some hits back at him, you know, so that's gonna help you to knock down the shield faster.
Too. Sorry, all you Cold Heart and Allure fans. However, all hope is not lost. Turns out Tainted Pyro just needs to chill out. Okay, using freeze may not literally freeze him, but it will cause him to lose 15% of his turn meter per freeze debuff.
So when you land the freeze debuff, he's gonna drop 15% turn meter. That's why Yakar, other freeze champions will be pretty solid on this dungeon. The one thing that I'm curious is you're gonna put the freeze debuff, right? What's gonna happen if my next champion is gonna attempt to do it? I think you're gonna be able to manipulate the turn meter like that. So maybe having a couple of freeze champions in the team is gonna be important, you know.
Cool. Let's move on to our next star, Tainted Scavag, and her endless brood of spiderlings. The changes to her dungeon should send shivers down your spine. First, Tainted Scavag is immune to turn meter reduction and HP burn.
Goodbye, all of your Cisia fans on this dungeon. HP burn is not going to work on this dungeon anymore. We cannot manipulate the turn meter, but of course, we're gonna have a different sort of recipe to succeeding here. Let's just watch the rest, you know.
We're not kidding. In fact, if you've got HP burn on her spiderlings, each AP burn activation will now partially heal her. So you'll definitely want to avoid that. Also, her spiderlings are immune to freeze, so that old trick won't save you either.
So you cannot freeze the spiderlings. If you use HP burn, it's gonna heal the spider queen. Seems like you can stun them, so that's a good thing to keep in mind.
However, where one door closes, another one opens. Each time a spiderling dies, Scavag loses a chunk of her HP. So, upping your area of effect game.
So now we're gonna have to bring in a lot of AoE champions to deal damage. The more spiderlings we kill, the more damage is gonna drop on the boss. You've seen was a 454k for a spiderling dying. So that's gonna be the recipe. We kill as many spiderlings as possible, and that's how we're gonna deal with this dungeon, which it shouldn't be a problem because right now it's fairly easy to kill the spiderlings on stage 25 if you have a couple of damage dealers in there. That's why you always kind of like need to be careful not to do too much damage on them, you know?
And blasting her entire clutch to Kingdom Come is now a viable strategy. Another saving grace is that hard mode spiderlings aren't any tougher than they are on stage 25 of normal mode.
So they're not gonna get harder. They're still gonna have the same stats, the spiderlings, like on stage 25 on normal mode. That's great, great to hear. Good practice to create the team before the dungeon is here, you know?
So if you can splat them there, you can splat them here. Overall, hard mode dungeons live up to their name, and taking them on is well worth the effort. Along with yielding greater rewards and more event or clan v clan tournament points, hard mode dungeons will also drop mythical artifacts and accessories. Until now, you could only get mythical artifacts from Hydra battles, but it wasn't exactly an easy location to farm. Once hard mode dungeons go live, you'll get to choose which sets to hunt for and have more ways to earn mythical artifacts and accessories. And trust me.
So one thing that I'm seeing here, guys, you see we have mythical accessories which come from the clan versus clan. So I have a feeling that this might be coming soon, and this might be introduced in the next CVC, and that's why they delayed it and other things like this. I'm a bit confused about it, but that might be the case here because we have Blood Shield accessories. You cannot get this by farming dungeons, you know.
You'll want these mythical goodies to prepare for the challenges we've got cooking this year.
So we want the mythical gear for other challenges that they've been cooking this year. I thought that this was the challenge, but seems like no, this is still preparing us for the grand challenge, which I'm so curious to know what it is.
Speaking of challenges, we all know that the best thing in life is to crush your enemies, climb the ranks of the arena, and become the best in the world. But until now, you can only test your strength against AI-controlled defense teams, and we know you all dreamed of more than that. You want to go head-to-head with other players to feel the thrill of real-time PvP and test your skill against opponents as cunning as you are. Now, at last, we can say that dream is becoming reality.
Check this out, guys. So you can see, you have a look at the team, right? The first thing was like, why would you use this team in arena? Why would you use Tumesia in arena with HP burn and stun and accuracy? But then, if you look to the right side, you see he actually lost the previous fight. So that explains everything. Do not use this team in arena.
Live Arena is coming to Raid.
Bring it on!
We're super excited about it and can't wait.
Seems like we have multiple tiers, similar with what we have currently in a regular arena.
To see how Raid's PvP scene will evolve after the feature goes live.
I mean, look at these maps, man. They look so sick. I don't know why, but they really remind me of Mortal Kombat for some reason. Let me know your thoughts as well. They look amazing, right?
We won't go into too much detail today, so consider this an appetizer before a full feature preview video later this year. Live Arena will be available to all players who are level 50 and above. You can queue up for battles several times a day on a set schedule, a necessary measure to avoid long wait times in a PvE-focused game like.
So it seems like we're going to be able to get 4 fights a day. You're going to queue up and do it. I feel like level 50 is a mistake again. They should do level 60 for this sort of content. But yeah, I feel like they're never getting the right decision with when to unlock the content, you know?
Like Raid. Once you've queued up, you'll be added to the matchmaking pool, and you'll get matched up against an opponent as soon as possible. After pairing up with an opponent, the Battle of Wits begins with picking champions. During this phase, both players will pick their champions one by one, building a team of 5. Each player will then get to ban a single enemy champion from the fight and choose their team leader. No doubt some of you more devious players will come up with plenty of mind games for this. Oh.
So we can actually ban a champion, which is great. That's a good move because it's gonna create more complex fights, you know.
And one thing to mention, you won't be able to use duplicate champions in the higher Live Arena tiers.
No dupes.
Once the teams have been drafted, the battle begins. It won't be all that different as far as core mechanics are concerned, except you're fighting a real human. So be prepared for nasty surprises that the AI could never come up with. All phases in battle will have an overall time limit and a limit on player turns. Should the overall time limit run out, both players will receive a defeated result. You're fighting the clock as much as you're fighting your opponents here, so don't try and stall out for the win. On top of...
So you heard that, you little trolls. You're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose the fight, and yeah, you're gonna waste 30 minutes of your life by being a troll and just stalling for time, which is just stupid. And you're gonna lose points as well, and you're just gonna derank, and you're not gonna be able to do that to pretty much anyone after. You're gonna be able to kind of like do that to yourself, you know? So don't stall for time.
Of the sheer awesomeness of fighting other players in real time, there'll be dedicated Live Arena quests, new artifacts, a new addition to the Great Hall where you can...
Look at the Great Hall. So seems like it is getting changed. It's gonna look different. This first part, it still looks exactly the same, so it doesn't seem like anything changes. But what I'm seeing is the actual area bonuses.
You can spend your hard-earned Live Arena crests
and this only comes from Live Arena, guys. So this, again, you're gonna wanna make this. By the looks of it, it only affects dungeons. You see, like, if we're looking right here on the right side, we have Potion Keeps, Demon Lord, Hydra, Spider, Dragon, Fire Knight, Ice Golem. So it doesn't seem to affect anything else, right? So you're gonna be able to ignore defense to get speed, which are new to the Great Hall. But this is for a specific area, and I think this is actually great.
Other rewards to look forward to. but we'll talk about all that later. Those are the two main features we'll be working on in the near future, but we also have some significant quality of life updates coming too.
Massive, guys.
First of all, we're going to make separate multi-battle settings for various game modes and even for some individual dungeons. This should make it even easier to customize your farming teams and ensure they don't run into any trouble during their artifact hunts. We are also expanding your artifact selling options in multi-battle mode. Right now, you can only choose what rank of artifacts you want to get rid of, but we're changing it so you can pick which artifacts you want to keep based on the...
Look at that, guys. RSL Helper coming to Raid Shadow Legends, and guess what? All of you mobile players will be able to use this with multi-battles. This is actually huge because it's been a massive, massive complaint from the community about it. A massive request as well, and it's finally here. You're going to be able to select exactly what artifacts to instantly sell so you don't have to cleanse your gear all the time. This is actually next level. I'm loving it. I'm so glad that they added this to the game because a lot of mobile players out there that don't play it on PC, they cannot experience this and how good it is.
Rank, rarity, type, set, specific substats, or any combination of these factors. It won't be difficult to set up, and it'll make your farming a lot smoother. We're also adding a new sorting option for artifacts and accessories.
This is massive as well. I cannot wait for it because it's so annoying to filter through artifacts, guys, and just not be able to find what you need. I want to see something based on speed, right? Like something that has a triple roll, and it's finally coming. It's finally coming. I'm so excited for it.
That'll allow you to sort your gear by stats. For players with many artifacts, it should help you keep on top of things.
Thank you.
Finally, we're going to sort out the chaos that is the Fragment Summons tab. Champions that are currently unavailable by any means will be hidden from the list, unless you've got at least one of their fragments. It's a small enough change, but it'll make navigating fragment summons much easier. And finally, it wouldn't be a...
That's annoying as well with all the fragments. Like you scroll down, you see all the Doom Tower champions that you got and you will never be able to get again. Like we don't need to see them there anymore. So it's good that they're finally hiding that from there, you know.
What's next video without showing off some awesome new champions in the pipeline?
This looks sick.
Many of these fabulous barbarians, fashionable Ogrins, and their friends are all but ready to jump into the summoning pool.
This is actually sick. Look at the design of this, man. The Skinwalker. She actually looks sick. This is definitely a she by the looks of it, but is an amazing champion. Looks great.
And join the fight for Teleria. A few are still in the early stages of development, and we need to iron out some new mechanics. They'll be worth the wait.
Wow, this is amazing too.
And that's it for this episode of What's Next in Raid. Don't forget to hit...
Guys, this is it for What's Next in Raid Shadow Legends. Are you guys excited? Let me know in the comments down below which one of these things is your most favorite part. Love the QOL changes. These are going to be massive for everybody out there. Hands down, no comment about it. The new dungeons as well, keeping the 20 energy, I like that. Hope they're going to remove the rare gear. Changing the mechanics completely, but not making them impossible is great, because we're still going to be able to beat them with what we currently have in the game. We don't need to get new champions. On top of it, the Fire Knight is definitely the hardest dungeon out of all. We're going to see how the Ice Golem is, how hard it's going to hit and stuff. The Dragon is most probably still going to be the easiest. But damn, that looks amazing. Live Arena as well, having the time limit is huge because people cannot troll. 20 seconds per decision is more time than you actually need. So yeah, I'm super excited. I cannot wait. The one thing that put me a bit off is that when they moved to Live Arena, they said, we're going to release another video later this year. So that kind of like makes me question it. Is it coming soon, or is not coming as soon as we thought it is? Or they're going to drop a video tomorrow, or they're going to drop a video in a week or so. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As usual, I'm super pumped when I'm seeing these videos, guys. Much love, appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all soon in the next video. Peace.